Iteration 3, local updates with htmx. So we have our minimum viable web app here. The user submits their name and email and is taken to this page where we thank them personally. And we are doing this without navigating from the index route. However, on the back end, we are still serving full-on page templates. Let's bring in htmx so that we can start serving partials. The first thing, of course, is to import the library. Here I'm linking to the latest version. And because htmx doesn't have external dependencies, I can just go ahead and start adding attributes to the markup. Now remember, in our instant gratification examples, we had this button which we augmented with AJAX attributes like get and swap. So let's start by shooting from the hip and seeing if this can work out of the box in our form submission. We probably should change this to post first because we are posting data to the server. And we don't need the hello route. Otherwise, we're ready to go. Let's try to submit all over again. So two things are noticeable. First of all, even though we have outer HTML as value for AJAX swap, the form fields are still present. And the second thing, of course, is that this element here appears out of alignment with the main design. But let's see if this is all there is to it. What if we try submitting an empty form? Boom. Now that came as a surprise. How is this possible? We have our input fields and the required HTML5 attribute is declared on both. So this was previously not possible. And it looks like when we add these AJAX attributes to the button, we are somehow able to circumvent the form validation mechanism that's afforded by HTML5. Well, if we take a look here at what's really happening, we have AJAX post, but this is a button element within a form element that also is doing something with post. Method post right here, going to the index action, to the index route, sorry. So there's clear duplication here. What happens if we first of all remove this and pull up the AJAX part to the form element? No longer able to submit an empty form. Let's try with email. Also not possible. Okay. And now we can see the form fields are gone. So that's out of the way. So what's going on is that htmx expects the post attribute, get and post, to be on the form element and not on the interactive element nested within it. We still have our misaligned design here, and I'll show you the CSS utilities I have for centering stuff. Viewport centered basically tells the browser to align using flexbox in the center, and text centered is aligning the text within those elements. And in our thank you template, which is being injected here, we are applying both of those classes. Somehow this part here doesn't inherit from the parent element here. So let's inspect it and see what's going on. The body tag, the main tag, focus, the form tag, and this is where we inject our response. And what do we see here? There's an extra main tag nested within form, and this is familiar. So it looks like htmx when it has to inject a piece of HTML into a page, first strips out the body tag if it's present, which makes total sense because we're not injecting one document into another, we're just injecting a partial. So the body tag has to go. We should probably save this. Because viewport centered is up here already. And we can turn this into a div. With the class applied. See if it works. And everything works as expected. Except that this part here is probably redundant, but we'll take a look at it in the next episode. So what we're doing here, of course, is AJAX. We have extra HTML attributes that tell the library in the background, htmx, to issue HTTP requests from JavaScript and then insert the response somewhere in the DOM. But AJAX is just the technical term for this phenomenon. What we're really doing is called transclusion. It's the ability to include parts of document A into document B and do so without going through a full page refresh. And while AJAX is a technical term in terms of technologies involved, transclusion as a concept has been a part of hypermedia from the very beginning.